Alright guys, this is my review of the Bancor protocol. As you can see, the Bancor protocol has a lot of uncertainty, and I will get into why that is the case. But if you look at the basic top-down view of the overall system, you can see that it is mostly yellow, but ultimately we do arrive at the conclusion that I do think that the price is going to go up over time. Once again, I start all these videos with 4 pieces of information. Number 1, this is not investment advice. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only, and I'm using this for my own personal record to improve my methodology for picking projects in the future. And so red means that something detracts from the price performance. Yellow means that it will not affect the price performance in either direction, or that it's uncertain. And green means that it will most likely add to price increase over time. So a basic summary of this problem is, what problem does it solve? Currently, it's a trustless token exchange. Trustless competitive yield for savings. High yields are expected. Much higher than anything that's offered in the current banking system. Impermanent loss mitigation. I'll get into explaining what that means later, but it is amazing that they've came up with a method for this, which basically means Bancor is a lot better than Uniswap, which is the most popular trustless token exchange option right now. Bancor is the best, period, and that's because of their version 2 incentive structure, their one-sided liquidity pool provider upgrades that happened recently. Also, what problem will this protocol solve in the future? Well, basically everything that I just stated, but for a larger audience, hopefully people that aren't even in crypto. There's potentially trillions of dollars in assets that we know. This is something that I will state that I believe is a fact at this point. All the world's assets will move into cryptocurrency, and there will be trillions and trillions of dollars that will be exchanged. Bancor is one of the protocols that is in the best position. They're the innovators in the crypto space. We even have a algorithm named after them called the Bancor algorithm that I believe that they came up with for token exchange. It's named after them, so I believe they came up with it. Okay, so does a team have a track record showing that they can deliver their promises and that this project can deliver in the future? I would say yes, absolutely. The Bancor team has been nothing but they've done nothing but deliver. They're one of the best teams in the entire crypto industry. Okay, so before I get started with the diagram, I start out with 2 mission critical prospects of any project, and if these mission critical things are not true or not the case, I will immediately abandon the project. And if I run into one of those projects, I will put up a video saying that this project does not meet criteria for investment because it's a disaster. The 2 mission critical aspects of a project is the token is used for services, and with Bancor it absolutely is. And does this project have a lot of room for growth? And yes, absolutely, it does fit an industry that has a lot of room for growth. Okay, so for Bancor, we're going to go over something special. This giant yellow line that you can see throughout this project shows one very important thing. That is governance, and how many different things are affected by governance. The Bancor protocol is going to create a DAO, a decentralized autonomous corporation, in the future, and depending on how they set up that DAO, all of these different areas will be affected. All of these yellow lines and all these components will be affected depending on the structure of that DAO that they're going to set up in the future. And you can see how important it is to get governance right. So what does that mean? The Bancor project has a big moment upcoming, and that big moment is 5 stars because it depends on the future of this project. Okay, so top down, I do expect the price to perform, at least in the short term, which is the 5-year period. Longer than a 5-year period depends on this big moment, on how they describe this DAO, how this DAO looks. So yes, I expect price performance. We do expect demand for the token to increase over time. I guess I'll start out with the positive things. The Bancor DAO is this is what's upcoming actually. That's one of the components of the Bancor token that will be used for its services. But right now it's used for liquidity, staking rewards, and fees. It generates kind of like a dividend or rewards when it's in liquidity providing pools. And it also accumulates fees from when you stake the Bancor token to those liquidity pools. The Bancor token is used in all of the liquidity provisions. So it's used in all the services, and it's also used for cross-chain swaps. So yes, it's used in all the services of the Bancor system. The value target of the target market to be solved in the future is obvious. It's very large. There's going to be trillions of dollars of assets coming to crypto. All the world's financial instruments are coming to crypto. So that's why crypto is the place to be. And the Bancor team is one of the best in the entire industry. So we can see right here that there's no fee structure. That could be changed in the future if the DAO decides, but there's no fee structure. Oh, I have to choose a different color to go over this yellow so I don't get confused. All right, so the current awareness, this project's already seen its first campaign in 2018. That's why a lot of people in the crypto industry are aware of it. But if there is newcomers, they won't be aware of it, and that's why I rated this yellow. It's not taking away, it's not adding. The Bancor project is pretty well known. It's a well-respected project, and those who left will likely re-enter. Those retail investors who didn't know what they were doing, they probably invested, and when the project crashed, they left. But they may re-enter in the future. This project is very promising, and it will likely get momentum in the future. I put new yellow because many newcomers won't know about it. So regarding their team is mostly unknown on Twitter. The largest team member I found had 5,000 followers, but the project itself is pretty large. It's pretty well known. So that's something to consider, that this project is mostly, you're not getting in before everyone else regarding how many Twitter followers the Bancor protocol has. And that, it's yellow. Because I do think this can grow in the future. And you can see this line right here. The market cap is affected by current awareness. Now, the market cap actually is not low. It's above 100 million. I think it's 150 million. But you can find that detail anywhere. It's above 100 million. It's within I think it's 84th in the top 100. So yeah, this project is a pretty large market cap. The token supply, sorry about that. The token supply distribution ratio is above 50%. They released more than 50% of the tokens when they just distributed the tokens. So, and I don't suppose that it's greater than 75% distributed yet, even though that happened 2 years ago. And you'll see the details of that in my sources, the white paper, and why I reached that conclusion. It's basically how it's distributed. Okay. I reached that a neutral arrival for the tokens on the sell side. A lot of this is from this large yellow line that you could see everywhere. The reason a lot of these things are yellow is because of the governance and how important it is for this project. When they do design that DAO, it's going to affect a lot about this project. And so I'll come back to this project when they do ultimately describe how that DAO is going to look. The inflation rate is going to be decided by the DAO. So, that's affected by the DAO. The token holders and the DAO will decide the inflation rate. That may, all of these things could be potentially very good. All of these things could turn green or they can turn red, depending on what they decide. All of these things are yellow. The future market excitement, unknown. I still expect this project to go up in 5 years because it's their team is so strong, and we'll get there. Their team is extremely strong. So a neutral number of tokens per person. Once again, not a bullish thing, but we'll see. This project is everywhere. You're not getting in before it's hard to acquire. It is easy to acquire. So you're not beating the crowd on that. Once again, the DAO affects how many people are going to be using this in the future. Depends on the DAO details. All of this dependent on how that DAO is designed. Yes, Bancor is easy to use. That's a pro, big pro. It's easy to use for its target market. Future marketing plans, once again, depend on the future decisions of the DAO. Okay, so why is that? Why is so much depend on the DAO? Because there's a potentiality, and this is a big problem with EOS as well, but I will do a review of EOS soon, and you'll see that as well. But if exchanges or custodial exchanges, centralized exchanges, use Bancor tokens to vote, that could be disastrous, as we have seen on EOS. So there has to be protections in place or mechanisms in place to ensure that custodials, people who didn't buy the Bancor token, cannot vote, or that they do not take over the network, because they usually do not share the interest of the token holders. So that could be a disaster, and that's why we have that huge yellow. A lot of uncertainty because we're about to see the DAO decide the future of the Bancor project as they decide what that will look like. This could be potential. The time lockup, giving you extra weight. If they do that, that would be great. That would work against those custodial voting. So a green thing that for any project is that the token represents a vote, represents the future. That means the project is closer aligned to the token holders, unless that mechanism fails. From as stated, the custodials, people who didn't buy in. That's when that mechanism fails. But it's great that Bancor is moving in that direction. A DAO is a smart direction to move. So one of the major reasons why a DAO is important and getting the voting right is because the quality of the people that are going to be elected. Everything about a project's future is dependent on the people that contribute work to it. That's just a basic reality. We're not robots yet. Human beings make these projects. They make up what these projects do. So that is why getting the governance right is the most important part of any of these projects. Every single cryptocurrency project has to work on governance. Once again, developer compensation dependent on the DAO. There's no clear mission statement. I don't like that as well. Basically, on their white paper, it says liquidity provider through smart contracts. But, that's not really a mission statement. Kind of guides the project. So I don't like that they don't have a mission statement. Bancor will have a positive impact on the world, so I'm sure I've seen developers in interviews, and they understand that freedom from centralized banks is a good thing. So they understand the importance of cryptocurrency, and so they do understand the why. Why are we here? Why are we doing this? What's the impact? Once again, all of these things affected by the DAO. I'm sounding like I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again. That's because I am. How well they designed this DAO affects everything. And once again, as you can see, I think 5 years time, this is a bullish project. Greater than 5 years, highly dependent on that DAO, that DAO structure. Why? Because so much of it comes from this high value people, and the people that get elected by the DAO. Okay, so let's focus on the really good thing, and that's why I'm bullish about this project, even with so much unknown regarding that DAO. The developer team, some of the things that they did first, they were the first, if I'm not mistaken, they were the first to provide liquidity pools. They were the ones who came up with the Bancor algorithm. First in token swapping. They're the first ones I saw in token swapping, and I've been here for a while in crypto. They were the first to come up with the ETH to EOS bridge, or my first exposure to it. And the one-sided liquidity, that's a first. I mean, that came out of the blue, and that's new, and that is a first. I don't see anyone else coming up with these innovations. The Bancor team they're great. They're awesome. Sound like the Tony the Tiger. Great. Because they're awesome. Bancor team is the best. This is all green. Yes, they're the best They are the best option of all the competitors. Bancor is the best option. The team is, anyways. And see, this is how this contributes. All right, so the current market that they serve is expected to grow, even if they don't have a mission statement, if the DAO is structured improperly. What they currently serve is expected to grow. And, that's one of the major reasons that we're going to see some demand increase over the next 5 years. We're going to see very rapid growth in this space within that period. Okay, so what did I mean when I said earlier that they solved the impermanent loss mitigation problem? So in these liquidity pools, you have, let's say you have the trading pair Bancor versus EOS, and it's in some ratio. If the price of Ethereum goes up, then the ratio of BNT to equal that amount of ETH, it takes more BNT to equal the ETH value if ETH goes up. So if someone was to withdraw from this liquidity pool, if someone was to withdraw BNT, they'd be pulling out more BNT to match the value of the Ethereum. So they put incentives on the BNT side as the opposer grows. So if Ethereum grows, there's the incentives on this side grow to attract more BNT to keep that ratio constant. This diminishes the impermanent loss that's experienced, the loss of value when people stake to the 50-50 ratios that you'll see at Uniswap. This diminishes that pain point and so that's one of the reasons that they came up with this out of the blue, and that these people are innovators. They're the first ones to show this one-sided liquidity provider option. This is amazing, and at some point the cryptocurrency community will realize this. Hopefully they realize it. It took 1.5 years for them to even start using DEXs, and Bancor was the first one that I was aware of that was doing swapping, and it ended up being Uniswap. It ended up being someone else who captured a lot of that, even though the Bancor people were like the first. But here they are again, innovating. At some point, people are going to realize, hey, this is where the innovators are. This is where the progress is. And also, there's an incentive structure from. So this design also it pulls in funds if BNT goes down or goes up. Then there's more demand for EOS because the EOS rewards, the Ethereum rewards will go up. So either way, this is like a black hole spiral leading to the Bancor system. It's an excellent design, and it means that because the incentives match up on either side, it should pull in more resources to attract the opposing pools as there's big price movements here or big price movements here. It's unique design, and that's what this design of V2, I think it will work. I think they did this because they wanted to pull in liquidity, and they want it to be used in the automatic code of a lot of these projects. They're very smart people, so I think what they tried to figure out was bringing liquidity to Bancor, and I think they will. And there it is. That's the Bancor protocol. One of the most unique, one of the best projects out there. Oh, and one more thing. It's been in a bull market. This is a red thing. It's been a pretty bullish market. It's up 10x in the last like 2 months. I actually removed my position because I was up like 12x, but it is 30% down. So we've seen a huge rise in price, and it's about right here. But yes, this is a great project, one of the most talented teams in the whole space. And for Bancor, we're going to wait on that big moment upcoming to see what the results of that is when they decide what the DAO will look like. That's going to decide the future of Bancor.